Reading with your kids.
Hey, so great to see you. Come on in. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are so happy that you are joining us today. It's STEM Tuesday, and our Dean of all things STEM and STEAM, Jennifer Swanson, is here today to tell us about some great resources that can help you help your kids start peeking into the mind of a scientist or an engineer. Hey, for all the authors that are listening out there, I wanted to share with you this great email that we received here at the Reading with Your Kids podcast from Dr. Linda Mubarak. She is a past guest and the author of Maxine's New Job. Here's the email. Dear Fatima and Jed, good news! Maxine's New Job has been nominated to receive the prestigious Henri Award at the 2018 Christian Literacy Awards for Outstanding Literacy Work in the Children's Book Division. I sincerely believe your certifying Maxine as a great read helped bring increased social media attention to the book. Thank you for the exposure and the great marketing. We are so happy for Dr. Linda Mubarak that her book, Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read, Maxine's New Job, received this prestigious recognition. We would love to help your book receive that same kind of recognition. If you are interested in having your book considered for our Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read program, please visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. You can click on the contact button, send us a note, and we'll send all the information back to you, or you can go right to our Certified Great Read page on our website. It's fun, it's easy, and it is really an effective way to let the world know that your book stands out above all the rest. The Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read program. Oh, I am so excited. I love STEM Tuesday, and our favorite friend from Jacksonville, Florida is back to tell us about some of the great resources you can find on the STEM Tuesday page at the Mix Up Files. Please welcome back Jennifer Swanson. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jed?
I'm excellent. Jennifer and I just had a brief half-hour conversation, catching up on what's going on. She's doing all sorts of stuff. She's starting a great new literacy foundation. I don't know if she can talk about it in public, but she's doing some great stuff for literacy in Jacksonville. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We just have a name so far. It's called Kid Literacy, Inc. So by the time this comes out, you can look it up on the website because it should be up by then. But, we're really excited. We're trying to improve literacy here in the Northeast Florida area. Our motto is open a book, change a life.
Awesome. And that, it sometimes it really is that simple.
Yes.
Or
it should be.
Yeah. Well, just one book can really just turn on and spark something in a kid. And of course, we all recognize the fact that when we help kids learn how to read, especially kids in inner cities and from disadvantaged backgrounds, when we give that kid a chance to read, then a whole world opens up for them.
Yes, absolutely. That's how I feel too.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer is the driving force behind STEM Tuesday, which is a wonderful blog. And every month she comes in and we talk about some of the great resources we can find. And today we're going to be talking about peeking into the mind of a scientist or an engineer. This sounds exciting and possibly terrifying.
A little bit nerdy, too.
Yes, absolutely nerdy.
But that's okay because nerds are cool, and loving science and engineering STEAM is the term, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, is really awesome. So this is, if you're following us along on the blog, this would be the November 2017 topic. And now you can search our blog by category. So we made it really easier for teachers. But the first week is a book list, which is created by my fabulous team, authors Patricia Newman and Nancy Castaldo. And let's see, a couple of these. Here you go. There's one right here. Think Like a Scientist in the Gym by Christine Taylor Butler.
Think like a scientist in the gym.
So she, as kids, the readers, test their scientific thinking by performing a series of experiments using gym equipment. I don't know. You made a face there. Did you think that was great or not?
Yeah, it's, I definitely can. I'm wondering how the people at my gym would react to that.
Okay. Granted, yes, this is probably for kids and their PE. It would probably look a little odd if you did some of these experiments on, like the Stairmaster.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, yes, absolutely. So do we have an example of some of those experiments?
Well, I don't have the book in front of me, but I would be willing. Based on what I've read before, a lot of it has to do with like basketballs. So it would be physics that you're learning. Maybe the difference between basketballs and volleyballs. So, and you think about like they're two different, they're made differently of different materials, but they also, one bounces on the floor and one is bounced off your arm. So they're actually inflated differently. So there's a whole bunch of physics there. So, let's see. We also have The Hyena Scientist, if you're interested in animals. That's by Cy Montgomery. We have Charles and Emma. I love this book. This is The Darwin's Leap of Faith by Deborah Heiligman. You've heard of Charles Darwin,
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is the relationship that he had with his wife and how she was actually involved in some of his research. And then we have your favorite, Something Rotten, a fresh look at roadkill by Heather L. Montgomery.
Our queen of disgusting, yucky science. Excellent, excellent. Yes, that was it. If you didn't hear it already, we featured Heather in an interview and we talked about that book. So you can search our archives too to check out that interview.
All right. And then the last one is, I want to mention this one because it just won a big prize, the AAAS Subaru Prize for Best Science Books. This is Alexander Graham Bell for Kids, His Life and Inventions by Mary Kay Carson. And this one has 21 different activities. If you are interested, like if you're one of those kids like me who doesn't want to just read the book but wants to interact with it, this is a great book for them.
Awesome. Now we know Alexander Graham Bell, telephone guy.
Yep.
What other, off the top of your head, do you know any of the other inventions that he was responsible for?
Oh, let's see. Did he do the telegraph too? I'm trying to remember. He did a bunch of them. I don't remember. Do you know?
No, I was.
Oh, you're right. You literally were asking me. Well, I don't know for sure. This is one of those, I'll go look it up, right? Because I do that. I get asked questions when I go to schools. Kids ask me stuff all the time, especially when I'm like talking about my brain games book. They'll start asking me all of these questions about the brain, and I have, the amount that I can answer, and then I'm like, oh, that's a great question. Why don't you go look it up and do some research? Because after all, I do not have a degree in neuroscience. so there's only so much I can answer. But I do know that he did a lot. He did an absolute ton of experiments inventions back then. And this is a really cool book. Get the book. Maybe that answers the question.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's for any parents out there that are listening, doing what Jennifer just did is so important for a parent to do, and so few parents do it.
Yes.
I don't know. Those are 3 words that are invaluable to a parent. I don't know.
Yes.
And
a teacher too. It's okay if you're a teacher to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
At least I feel that way because I don't know everything.
Right. And it takes, those 3 little words do so much. Number 1, it can launch, an exploration to answer the question. Let's find out together. Number 2, you're modeling to kids that not everybody knows everything, and it's okay not to know everything. And for especially middle school kids who they think I have to pretend I know everything because everybody else knows everything. And in reality, none of you guys know anything. So it's really, really cool for those kids to see. Oh, my mom, my dad, my caregiver, they're like, they don't know everything, and it's okay. All right,
Yes.
I can chill. I don't have to worry about this.
Well, and I mean, it also teaches kids to literally go look things up. I mean, preferably not on your phone, like actually maybe go to the library or whatever. But however you find it, it's to know that they don't realize that they don't have to know it all either.
Right.
And that's, I think that's an important thing for kids to know.
Absolutely.
So in the second week we have, some in the classroom activities for teachers. So I would highly recommend if you're a teacher or homeschool parent to check some of these out. And it's how to use these, books for discussions, to talk about, like for example, Heather Montgomery's Something Rotten book is all about curiosity. So, she got curious because she saw animals who were roadkill on the side of the road, and it made her sad. And she was just like, what happens to these animals? So she decided to find out. And, this was her curiosity. And then it also says in here, Heather's Footsteps, she offers dissection opportunities, like tells for the students. So if the teachers are really that science oriented and they want to talk about how you can learn the parts of an animal, then there you go. Now, again, only do that if you're ready for that or if you know what you're doing. I'm not advocating everybody do that. But she also talks about in here that, okay, if you don't, if you can't do that, then maybe you take something apart that's electronic. Because the whole part about an engineer is kind of figuring out how it works. And for me, I was that kid. It was like, how does that work? How does this, why does it do this? And my mom, her favorite saying to me, go look it up. So now I'm telling all of you to tell your kids, go look it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about what's going on and the things the kids are interacting with these days, you mentioned the cell phone, the smartphones, the computers, the televisions, and they don't even, how something works doesn't even enter most adults' minds. But it's really fascinating when you think about, okay, so how does this thing that I can put in my pocket that enables me to send messages and communicate with people all over the world, how does that work? And how many people are involved with making that work? And when kids think about that, that's really kind of mind-boggling and so really cool.
Right, exactly. And the third week, writing crafts and resources. So this is the third week in November. This one was actually written by Heather L. Montgomery. And now remember, when you do the scientific method and you're an engineer, do you think it always turns out right every time?
My cakes don't turn out right every time.
So this one, she talks about how you can actually go to Twitter. It looks like there's a hashtag called Fieldwork Fails. And it gives you a perspective on what happens to the scientists. She gives an example here. These are everyday folks making everyday mistakes. One researcher accidentally glued herself to a crocodile. A field team had baboons steal their last roll of toilet paper and string it up in the trees. And another group managed to get a drugged zebra's neck stuck in the fork of a tree. So I guess as they were escorting the zebra to probably do some work, they put it to sleep so that they could maybe move it or whatever. So, see, don't feel bad if the experiments that you do at home, kids, even your volcano, if it doesn't work right the first time, because you are not alone.
Absolutely.
And the other thing in here is there's a couple of hashtags where you can go and ask questions. So there's hashtag fieldwork or hashtag SciComm, which is SciComm. And I also know there's one called hashtag Ask a Scientist. So these are, I don't know exactly what scientists manage these Twitter feeds, but if you have a question, this is a great way to reach out to an actual scientist or engineer and ask your questions. Because kids, I mean, they have some pretty awesome questions. I mean, you're not just going to get, why is the sky blue? You're going to get, how does that self-driving car work and why, all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So be sure, kids should go ahead and reach out to the community and see what the scientists and engineers are willing to do with them.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. My experience with my kids growing up is when they reached out to somebody, whether it was a scientist or a sports figure or a politician, they always responded back, and they were always very generous with their time, and it really blew my kids' minds and inspired them, especially my daughter in her field and getting into the music business. There are so many people who are so generous with their time, and it really inspired her and ignited her passion for music and the music business.
Yeah, exactly. And the scientists and engineers are the same. I actually connected with the scientist one of the aquanauts that was he was the researcher, basically. He was the guy that did most of the research. He was also kind of my fact checker and my expert reviewer for my book, Dr. Brian Helmuth. He's at Northeastern University, and he invited me up there when I was up there, and I saw you for the first time, and I was up in Boston, and that was the experience of a lifetime for me. Now it's not open to the public, their labs, but to be shown all of the important work that they are doing to learn about our ocean, and the things, dealing with climate change and the effect it has on the animals and just normal salinity of the ocean. I mean, I was like a kid in a candy store there. So most scientists and engineers are very eager and excited. They get like little kids. Well, I got like a little kid when I was up there. Yeah. But, when they're sharing their information, and this is why it's really cool to share it to kids, because then kids get excited and then maybe they grow up and become aquanauts too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense because this is what the scientists, the engineers, this is their passion. Yeah. It's what they're proud of. I mean, when my kids were younger, I remember people saying, at some point you're going to stop talking about your kids and how proud you are of them.
Never.
But exactly, yeah. But this is like the scientists. This is their baby. This is what they're working. This is what they're passionate about. And to be able to share that with somebody, it's a treat for them.
It is. And then the last week in this month, STEM Tuesday, is always an author interview, which Mary Kay Carson and I, she does that week all by herself. And the feature author for November is Heather Montgomery and her Something Rotten book. So if you want a really big peek into how she wrote the book about and why she wrote a book about roadkill, then and you don't know her like I do, then you would want to read the interview because it's really good. And don't forget, whatever month you're looking at, whatever month we're in, so we are actually we give away a free author copy to whoever, like we choose people who leave a comment, and some months we only have 5 people. So if you want to enter for a chance to win, just put your name on the bottom of the 4th week of STEM Tuesday, and you could win a free copy of the book.
Yeah, and if you don't know what to say, just saying, I really like this.
Yeah, or just, hi, my name is whatever. It doesn't matter. Just respond.
Now remind everybody where they can find the STEM Tuesday blog.
Well, the easiest way to do this is www.stemtuesday.com. It's going to take you over to the Mixed Up Files blog from there because they are the ones who host us. Mm-hmm. But that's the easiest way to find it. Just do stemtuesday.com.
Excellent. And I understand. Now, Jennifer is the author of some fantastic books. We spoke to her about astronaut, aquanaut, how space science and sea science interact.
Yes, very good.
Excellent. And so many other books, but I understand there was a cover reveal for a new book. Are you able to talk anything about that?
Yeah, that was today.
Uh-huh.
So by the time this is January 24th, by the time it comes out, I have a new book coming out this fall with Bloomsbury. It's not STEM focused so much, but that's okay because I also was in the military, so I have a military background. It's called Spies, Lies, and Disguise. Daring Tricks and Deeds That Won World War II.
Ooh.
So, my editor was so amazing. She let me do it in kind of a snarky middle grade tone, which is, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but is my true voice. So, and the cover is amazing. It was done by, the awesome illustrator Kevin O'Malley. So it's really, really cool. But it will come out in September. So thank you for asking.
Well, we are looking forward to that. We'll look forward to having you come back on and talk about it more extensively as the debut approaches. Remind everybody of your website so they can go and find out more about Astronaut, Aquanaut, and all the other great books that you've written.
Okay, so my website is www.jenniferswansonbooks.com.
Excellent, excellent. Another great STEM Tuesday in the books. Check out the blog. Check out the website. Jennifer, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jed.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be coming to us from Brevard in North Carolina. She is the author of Design to Shine. You are going to love meeting our guest, Joy Reeser. If you're the author of a great children's book, we would love to have you as a guest on the show. Being a guest, it's fun, it's easy, and it is absolutely free. It gives you a chance to tell thousands of people all around the world about your fantastic children's book. You can learn more about the show and about being a guest by visiting our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the contact button. Let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next steps. And like I said before, they're really, really easy. Hey, I want to thank our buddy Jennifer Swanson for helping us take a peek into the minds of a scientist or an engineer, helping our kids develop a love and a curiosity about all things science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And since I'm a magician, throw some arts in there too. We want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. Thank you so very much. I understand how busy you are, but we really appreciate you being here, and we especially appreciate the fact that you're making the world a better place every time you sit down and read with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.